Make sure. Okay. You guys probably already know what this is. I would guess y'all know what this is. I'm pretty excited. Can't get much better than this, hanging out with you guys and unboxing and building a brand new Tekno MT410. Nice! What is up, guys? My name is Mark Santamaria. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RC vlog. Guys, the other day I had a live feed where I did a wrenching session and I unboxed a brand new truck and I started building it right there on that live feed. And if you missed it, it's this truck right here, the brand new Tekno MT410 2.0. I started the build. I didn't finish it on the live feed, but I did finish it behind the scenes. And guys, this thing is amazing. Look at this. Oh man, the build was perfect, just as I imagined any Tekno build be. Everything went together really well. Instructions were great. The way this truck is built, just how beefy the components are, I really imagine this is going to be a mega robust monster truck. Now, for those of y'all that are triggered the fact that I have Traxxas electronics in this Tekno MT410, the manual actually had Traxxas electronics in it. Like, it actually showed the ESC in the motor. It looked just like a VXL. So I was gonna put another brush system in it, but when I was building it, it like spoke to me, like, go ahead and put a VXL in there. I have one laying around. The VXL system is a 4-pole, so it should have plenty of torque. The biggest problem was the motor shaft. I believe it's 3mm. The motor shaft, either 3 or 4mm, is a smaller motor shaft. It wasn't the bigger 5mm motor shafts that the Mod 1 pinions need. So the spur gear is a Mod 1 spur gear, so you need a Mod 1 pinion, and again, it's one of those bigger bore motor shaft pinions. The good thing is, because I'm part of RC Box Club, in RC Box Club we released a bunch of 32 pitch pinions just in case you had one of the newer basher cars, and in there we have an adapter to go from 5mm to 3mm pinions. It worked out perfect, so I am running a 16 tooth Mod 1 pinion with an adapter to fit on a VXL motor. But guys, I'm so excited to drive this thing. But before we drive it, I want to point out some differences from the original MT410. So I do have the original MT410. They're mega different. Basically, the original MT410 was built on an A-scale platform. I say it's based on an A-scale platform. What it's really based on is the SCT 410.3, and it had A-scale shocks, A-scale diffs, definitely A-scale components, but it was in a short course. Now, when they went to the 2.0, they went down to 10-scale components, 10-scale diffs, 10-scale shocks. So now the new MT410 2.0 is actually more of a 10-scale platform, unlike the original MT410. So here is the original MT410. I'll show you guys side by side what they look like and how different they are. All right, so here they are side by side. This is the old MT410. This is the new 2.0. As you can tell, just right off the bat, it's just significantly larger. It's wider, slightly longer. Check out these shocks. These are A-scale shocks versus the new 2.0, which are true 10-scale shocks. This was just like an extremely beefy, I mean, it really was just like an A-scale truggy. It was essentially the A-scale truggy with a shortened chassis, or the buggy chassis, which this thing is a tank. When it comes to bashing, if I knew I was going somewhere where I didn't want to be wrenching on things all the time, this was the basher. I think this is the most durable basher on the market. Now, these cars don't come with electronics at all. They don't come with motor, ESC, servo, receiver, or anything. They come as a true kit. However, these are quality builds. They're basically race quality bashers, and it makes sense why this is the most durable basher on the market. Now, it's been replaced with this guy. We're gonna test this guy, but this thing, it's beautiful. And I imagine it's gonna be just as durable because it's essentially the exact same thing as the SCT 410 2.0, but with monster truck components like these shock towers, bumpers. Check out this wheelie bar. It's got these awesome wheels on here. Now, this center brace did not come with it. I'll put a link in the description below to all the accessories. I really just put that in here. I did put the Traxxas 400 servo, but this is gonna make the chassis more rigid. It'll be a little bit better whenever it comes down, maybe nose first or on the tail really hard. Keep it from the chassis bending. Not that I think it would, because I've put this one through the ringer and seriously, no problems at all. But a couple of other differences. On the older one, it is a 17mm hex, where on the newer one, it's your standard 12mm hex. However, It has an 8mm nut on it now, so it's a bigger wheel nut, which means that the axle should be stronger and thicker. So there is another reason why I decided to use Traxxas electronics, and that's so I can see how plausible it is for someone who has a Traxxas vehicle already to just pull the electronics out, buy the awesome Tekno MT410 2.0, and then throw the electronics in there and just see if you can reuse everything. I even have a TQ receiver and radio in here. Now, one thing I want to note, if you do pick one of these up, is go ahead and pick up a body. On the Tekno website, they have pictures of different bodies on the truck. Companies like Proline make bodies that will fit on this perfectly. I tried the Stampede 4x4 body. The Stampede 4x4 body is just too short. The Rustler 4x4 body, it won't work because it uses the clipless body system. Also, the Haas body is too short, but what body I did get to fit on there, it looks kind of goofy because this chassis is a little too long for it, is the Rustler 2-wheel drive body. So I was able to leverage that, and these electronics do come in a Rustler 2-wheel drive. So if you have a Rustler 2-wheel drive, you can just use that body. At least I hope so, because we haven't even tried it yet. All right, guys, here she is. The body's just a little short for the chassis, but the wheel wells don't look bad, so it works out. But man, it actually looks pretty freaking good. Coincidentally, I already had some Badland MX28s just laying around, so these were actually the tire on the box, which is freaking awesome. So it worked out perfect. But man, I'm so excited to rip this thing. I have a 3S battery getting charged up. Let's go ripping. So I'm taking it to a place where I really don't like to take RC cars, but when I do go to this place, the only ones I trust here are my Tekno rides. So we're gonna go to the skate park. I know you guys like to hear the car driving. There's gonna be music over this montage because it's windy outside, and otherwise you just hear a whole bunch of wind, but let's hope she survives. Wow, guys. Wow. I mean, I sent this thing. Like, I don't expect any car to survive. Like, the obvious things broke. Like, I came down on the nose and the tail really hard a few times, and it's freezing outside. Literally 32, 31 degrees. And those, like, the braces, the bumper braces broke, but the car kept going. The chassis didn't bend. I didn't break an arm or anything like that. Absolutely amazing. This thing is a tank. So in regards to the damage report, again, the bumper braces broke. The battery tray broke because the battery, I guess whenever I slammed down, I mean, I was going up really high, and when I slammed down, it kind of just ripped out. So I have to get a new battery tray. But other than that, like the actual driving components, nothing broke. The center chassis brace looked like it broke, so I could just pull this screw out. But I'm landing on cement. Like, that's the most extreme bashing you could possibly do, just sending your car and then just slamming it down. Now, part of the reason why it slammed down so hard was my fault. I had to get a little used to the car. The car's actually easy to control the pitch in the air. However, it's super aggressive when you control it. Because the tires are so big relative to the car, basically you can do triple backflips, no problem. You can do front flips, no problem. But like when you try to correct, just the slightest bit of throttle will make it hardcore, like basically swing one way or the other. Now, that probably doesn't help that I was overgeared. I'm extremely overgeared. It did overheat whenever I was going through the field, but in the manual it actually recommends certain gearing, and it did not recommend that I run 3S with a 16-tooth pinion. It said I should run 2S. Now, in regards to batteries, the longer 5,000 milliamp 3-cell Traxxas batteries do not fit in here. Neither do the 7600s. You're going to need the 5800 or the shorter 5000 3S, or any standard hard pack fit just fine. Everything survived. Again, these are things that I would expect to break, especially whenever we're sending it at a skate park, and big time especially whenever it's this cold outside. I am super impressed. At the end of the day, I could have kept sending it. We got super cold. Like Ethan's hands were, he kept saying his fingers felt like they were going to fall out. My hands were super cold. Like, we got in the car, our hands were like frozen. I mean, it was that cold outside. But I could have kept going. The last huge jump I did, it slammed down so hard, 2 of the motor wires came apart. But I literally plugged them back in. Everything was fine. After one of those huge jumps, my left rear dog bone did pop out. But that's actually, that can be corrected. So I'm running maximum droop in the front and rear. If you take out some of the droop, I think it's 98 millimeters droop in the front and then 108 or 109 in the rear. Run 98 front and rear droop, and you shouldn't have that dog bone problem. So what's actually happening whenever that dog bone pops out is there's so much droop or travel in the rear that it travels down and stretches so far where the axle can actually pop out of the outdrive. I thought about trying to fix it while I was out there, but it didn't happen again, and I wanted to make sure my droop was the same on both sides, and I didn't feel like messing with droop. But I think if I were to do it over again, run 98 front and rear droop. You're not trying to get a lot of performance out of this truck anyways, so just run the same droop front and rear. I'm going to put the regular gearing that it calls for, not the mega high gearing that I put in it. And this will likely be one of my go-to bashers. I'll put a link in the description below to all the parts that I used on this thing. Well, I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.